All right. And we're live. Forge Gang. I am still a hard man. Let's go. A flourishing, a fighting spirit. So how are you all doing this morning? How are you guys doing this morning? I am just here getting up, and I am starting my day. And I'm having me a sip of water because water is very good for you. And I am doing wonderful. I'm doing excellent. Yes, the hard mode is enabled, buddy. Hope you're all doing good. just winning, buddy. Just winning and fighting hard and being a freaking attempting to be a winner. Don't always win. Sometimes you lose and you have to go on. Rick Perry says that he is on his second coffee and fourth cigarette of the morning. Yeah, well, it's real early over here in the morning. Interdimensional Lizard says, let's go. Rick Perry saying, Forge Gang Hardman enabled. So there we go. Not even just barely a minute, 2 minutes in, and we already got some people in here talking. So how are you all doing? I'm doing very great. Thank you very much. I hope you were all having a fantastic morning. Hopefully you're all having a very fantastic, very wonderful morning. I am doing very good. Just having a nice chat. Just having some idle chat. And nothing toxic will be presented in here because this is a comfy zone. This is going to be a comfy area. No hug boxing, but still comfy. And just have a good, nice, relaxing morning for a few minutes and talk over some things. So, the only thing that I know that's been going on in the sector concurrently is Dark Ninja's been spurging out on Kiwi Farms, and he's just been spurging out really bad, and he's just been saying a lot of cuckoo shit on Kiwi Farms and stuff. And we got Sebastian Moran saying, all the best to you and Mom. Warhammer, salutations to you. The PlayStation 5 is... Oh, Sniper Elite 5 is free on PS Plus, I have been told. Is that the Battle of France? The Battle of France and the Normandy D-Day scenario? Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff about that war that is heavily exaggerated and we've been lied to. For one thing, the Soviets were the victors of that war. It was actually the Soviets that put in the men and material to actually fight and win that. America just overproduced the Axis, and basically that's how it won. It won with the power of overproduction and mammon. FDR, the New Deal, and all of that, and the British provided bases and provided intelligence, so that's World War II right there for you. British international intelligence, Soviet manpower, and American manufacturing and grit. Millions of people died, and that's just the reality of that. But anyways, World War I did not settle anything with the Treaty of Versailles, and it led directly into another great war, and another great conflict and redivision of the world between the ruling classes and the capitalist elites and circles. So there you go. Creation of the United Nations, and I wouldn't say it's exactly what we have today, since we went through the Cold War and the War on Terror, and are now going through a current crisis and issue with Ukraine. But there you go. Not a great deal has changed since then. But Sebastian Moran says yes. Yeah. It proceeds out of World War One, Sebastian. It proceeds out of the First World War and the collapse of those monarchies and the Central Powers and the revolutions of 1917 and all of that, which precipitated out of the liberal stuff of the 19th century, the 1848 revolutions in Europe, and the liberal industrial capitalist mindset and stuff that came out of that led to those world wars. But you don't need me to tell you that. But I'll consider it. I don't have all the pieces or like all the connective gadgets for the PlayStation 4. And the PlayStation 4 is already practically an antique. It's already practically like almost a decade old now, and it's just so outdated. And I'm not getting a PlayStation 5. There's nothing on there that's worth playing. Console games are dead. Like, console games are just pretty much gone. And all it is it's not real history. It's just Call of Duty. Call of Duty, multiplayer fighting and stuff, and that's what people get out of it. There's not really much history or academic stuff in there to learn from. But anyways, I'm getting up, just trying to start my day. Trying to enjoy myself and just basically get at it. Get with the program, kind of get into line with starting the day, and it's just that simple. But anyways, Forge Gang is back. We're back today. We're getting back together, and we're doing shit, and that's to it. Modern civilization is corrupt and is fastly falling apart before our eyes. The modern world is just full of abstract ideas and Kantian thought and a bunch of idealisms, and it is indeed full of isms, and nothing more than just isms. We got Minsk saying, meow, Nair Blad. But anyways, I hope you're all doing good. Yeah, I've just, dude, Dark Ninja has been just rage quitting everywhere. He's melting down in Kiwi Farms. The logs of his website that he had with a convicted pedophile has been leaked. The logs are out. Ethan Ralph covered them. And Dark Ninja wants revenge. He wants to get revenge like Osama bin Laden and the Twin Towers in New York. Dark Ninja wants to start a jihad. He wants to start a jihad war with his ideal perpetuity of the world that nobody else is going to follow. But anyways, forget about Dark Zoom. I hope you're all having a good, wonderful morning. It is January the 8th. January the 8th, it is 6 o'clock for me in my time zone. It's 6 o'clock. And I'm just starting the day and just kind of warming up and just getting down with the program, buddy. Getting down with the program and stuff. But like, yeah. America's place in the world is in decline. The legacy empire is no more. Foreign countries are adopting their own brands, their own banks, and their own monetary currencies, and they're kicking out the dollar. France is being kicked out of Africa. France has a colonial power is over. The Pax Americana, the American century is over with. Russia's population is drastically falling apart, and it's losing influence in the world. China, which actually did very well for the last 30 years to open up and reform, is going through a major population downfall and crisis. More people are dying in China than are being born, and so China is not going to be the new power. We're going to see new countries like Turkey, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, India, and Brazil. Is that better? Yeah, so we're going to see countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, India, possibly Southeast Asia, and Brazil rise up and become the new powers. The American century is over. Yeah, not for sure how to fix that. The American century is over with. I don't understand what the deal is with this. Yeah, it's just cold. It's gonna snow here. It's gonna snow. It won't snow very much, but it's going to snow. But anyways, yeah. Hopefully you all are having a good morning. I'm trying to myself. But yeah. Anyways, the American century is over with. There's going to be a new force of multipolarity in the world. That's no surprise. It's just a decontinuation of decolonization, decolonialism, and this kind of new United Nations world that we have. And the decline and deprivation of culture is going right in the way for the advancement of AI synchronization, and the replacement of human culture with AI generated culture and a highly advanced technocratic civilization with post scarcity. They want to move to a post scarcity based economy like on Star Trek. And they want to go to other planets and stuff. I don't know how realistic that is going to be. It seems highly impossible given the current situation going on. I don't think that we actually have the economic or the technological feats to colonize Mars or Titan, but Elon Musk thinks it's possible. I think that he's just a big dreamer. He's a utopianist, and he doesn't know like how real science and physics work and all of that. But anyways, I hope you're all having a good morning. I think I've said that like 11 times now since I started this stream. And yeah. Everything is just as worthless as it was under Joe Biden. Donald Trump did absolutely nothing to change anything for nobody. Donald Trump was a false messiah. And the MAGA stuff is just the right version of wokeness. That's all that it is. It's just a reinvention of like some kind of outdated, worn out 90s brand that nobody wears. It's like some old 90s Snickers brand of shoe that people don't wear anymore. And these Zoomers are so stupid and they don't know anything. They don't know any better. And they just took that hook, line, and sinker. They don't know any better. They haven't lived in better times than what they are in. Very few people remember what things were like before the Great Recession of 2007, 2008, and 9. So that's what people want to go back to, or at least the middle classes do. But the middle classes are done. Like, suburbia's finished. The whole concept of suburban lifestyle and stuff, that's a dead thing. That's a dead end. That's done. Okay. The inner city is where everything in the nation is going to be driven, and more, the United States southern border is going to be a center of its economics. And there's going to be just more international engagement and international cooperation. That's just the way it's going to be. So unless there's a World War III, which I don't think is going to happen, it's just going to be continued globalization, continued destruction of national cultures, and more of this global corporate brand, legacy brand culture that's going to replace it. Sebastian Moran says parts of California are burning. I did not know that, actually. But you should really consider leaving the UK. That place is just going into absolute self-destruct mode. America's not doing very good either. It's going to be like Poland. It's going to be Poland and the Czech Republic and Eastern Europe that is going to be the future of the European Union. Those are the places that are going to see their economies go up, and they're going to get richer. And Western Europe is just descending into population crisis and ethnographic, demographic crisis and meltdown. It's just Western civilization is done. It's done a lot for the world, but Western civilization is effectively dying out for all intents and purposes. Interdimensional Lizard says, wildfires in January, and Chauncey says that this is not his proudest fap. LOL. Well, the Dark Ninja has been spurging out. He's just been talking shit to everybody, and he's made a bunch of enemies, and nobody wants to be hang out with him anymore, and he's mad. He's fucking pissed about it. But he did that to himself. Nobody did that to him. He did all of that to himself. That's his own actions and his own faults. And I'm not to be faulted for something somebody else did to themselves. With their behavior and actions, that's not my fault. I'm only responsible for my own actions and what I do, my own decisions. So anyways, yeah, this is just the fucking current day of things. The fucking current day. And I cannot believe that Soberman tried to have a relationship with Dee Dee. Like, how in the world was that going to ever work out? That guy never leaves home. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't engage or do nothing with himself. He just stays on Discord all the fucking time, talking to AI bots and stuff. What is he thinking he's going to do with himself? That guy is doomed. Chauncey Fatsack says that the simp Juja lost Forge Gang 1. Rick Perry says maybe the ninja can transmigrate into the light ninja, like Gandalf the White. He could try. He has said in the past that he is a so-called warrior of light. He's not, of course. He's not a warrior of light. There's nothing about him everything about him is completely superficial. He has fallen into this concept of the new man, the new age man. And he has fallen into this utopian abstract conception of the new age man. He is the new international modern man. Just like what Soberman is, these people are the new 21st century man. They are the man of the city. Gender fluitive and non-binary, engaging in complete postmodern trash and filth, counterculture BS, and MK Ultra nonsense. What more needs to be said about it? It's just Fabian socialism. Fabian socialite mentality and just transfeminism. Like, the end of the male gender is going to be transfeminism. That's the death of the modern man. It's not the death of man, but it's the death of modern man. It's the death of Western man. Chauncey Fatsack says the Dark Ninja is a brony. He probably is, dude. He's talked about being a furry in the past, and he said that he was in a Snapchat or something with furries. Chauncey Fatsack says Gamma Man. Yep, the future Gamma Man. 21st century Gamma Male. Rick Perry says the 21st century boy toy like T-Rex. Well, it's going to go extinct like the dinosaurs did, buddy. It's not going to last. Nothing about this current age is going to be remembered, much less looked back on with any kind of nostalgia. It's going to be seen as completely empty liberalist nihilism, and non-Western cultures have already turned their backs to that. It's only in the West, in the first world, that you see this kind of behavior going on. It was appropriated from the Fabian school and from the Frankfurt school, appropriated from the libertarians, the West Coast libertarian liberals and the New England elites, appropriated into the modern culture for the international man that's going to replace the national man that was destroyed in the 2 world wars. Chauncey Fatsack says he wears TGE mask to hide his hair lip. Dude, that guy is probably got far worser hair recession than I do. He's a nobody, dude. Dark Ninja is a complete nobody, and I don't even really care to talk about him. Fuck that idiot, dude. That guy, not literally, that would be gay. That guy's just an idiot. He's a product of mass MK Ultra brainwashing. He's a product of indoctrination and brainwashing. And a demonstration of that is he thinks he's a proud boy. Like, he's a millennial that's trying to be a Zoomer. He's a millennial that is pretending to be a white Zoomer and trying to be a MAGA Trump supporter. But he's a Mexican millennial. He wants to be a white Zoomer MAGA supporter like Nick Fuentes, but he's a millennial. At least Fuentes is a Zoomer. Like Dark Ninja is a millennial. Chauncey Fatsack said he would never show his face. I think he did a long time ago before he started wearing the mask. Oh well, his main channel is gone. Anyways, it went out a long time ago last year. Rick Perry says that there is an issue with the mic, and Chauncey says that Rick Perry gives gummies to bummies in Dark Sally's alleys. I don't think that Rick Perry, do you take marijuana gummies? Do you take weed gummies? Chauncey Fatsack says that you're covering the mic hole. Rick Perry says Rick Perry does no such thing. Humph, harumph, harumpa-puff. Yeah, dude, I'm fucking like Dr. Oz here. I can analyze every fucking thing that goes on, and I can do it with absolute sheer clairvoyance. Chauncey says, open your hole, hammer the mic hole. Rick Perry says that he does enjoy gummy bears, though. Chauncey says, there you go. Yeah, Dark Ninja is a Mexican millennial that thinks that he's a white West Coast lib Zoomer that's going to be a MAGA Trump supporter. How exactly he came to that conclusion, I don't know. But it's just weird. But anyways, yeah, I don't watch any Hollywood shit, Hollywood movies, or none of that stuff. I don't engage with that crap. It's a waste of time. Fundamental waste of time and energy. I could do so much other stuff besides play video games or watch movies and stuff and try to engage in this postmodern, post-personalized, like, thing where people live just in dorm cubicles and just talk to each other in VR chat in this Orwellian new Brave New World thing that they're trying to push. Soberman is a complete and absolute total product of that. Soberman is the modern man. And Soberman's new man, the concept, what was his name? The concept of the third age man destroying the second age man. The Joachimite destruction of the second age man. That's Soberman and Dark Ninja. They are the third age man, and it's going to end with transfeminism. That is the death of the third age man, or, yeah, that's the death of the second age man. The Joachimite completely makes absolute sense. Makes perfect sense. You connect the dots, it's all there, dude. Chauncey Fatsack says he hopes that Trump deports Ninja. I don't know, it depends on his residency status. Chauncey says that, yeah, old movies are okay, but new stuff is strange. Yeah, I'm talking about stuff that came out in the last 10 years. Chauncey says that Super Jew reprobate will buy, consume, and obey. Exactly, dude. And that's what he talks about. All he talks about in his Discord is how he just buys things and consumes. Soberman is a consumer. Dark Ninja is a consumer. Rick Perry says that he is currently watching a 70s TV series called Kalan about an intel assassin who is being systematically mind-fucked. Damn. Damn, dude. Chauncey Fatsack says sober consumerism. And Rick Perry says that there is yet another issue with the mic. I don't know what's going on with the mic on the phone. Chauncey says that you got coom on your mic hole. Yeah, I don't know what to do about this fucking thing. I just might end it and go to the computer and stream if this continues. But anyways, I hope you're all having a fabulous, wonderful morning. It's 2025. Let's see here. Krell says 07. Chauncey is saying Interpol is NKW Europol. Rick Perry says that Edward Woodward stars in it. I believe it's a prequel to the 80s series, The Equalizer. Interesting. They really had such long hair in the 70s. Like, what's the deal with men having, like, long, wavy hair in the 70s? And then it changed to mohawks in the 80s. Chauncey says it's good now. Well, anyways, yeah. It's just the annihilation of the second age man, the replacement of the second age man with the third age of man. Dark Ninja and Silverman epitomize that change and that turnover to the third age from the second age. Rick Perry says 70 fashions are cool AF. Well, dude, that's the counterculture. The 1970s is the triumph of the counterculture. Chauncey Fatsack says they wear toupees. Yeah, dude, I am freaking motherfucking two-pack up in this bitch. Ho, motherfucker. Rick Perry says that 1970s glam rock was very androgynous. That's because of the hippie movement and the Fabian school of socialism, Rick Perry. Okay, that's Malthusian. Counterculture is Malthusianist. It's not real leftism, it's synthetic left. That's just synthetic left. All that is 100% destruction and degradation of Western culture. Interdimensional Lizard says long full hair was a sign of good health. Well, maybe in the Middle Ages, but not now. Chauncey Fatsack says that trans couple Isaac and Soybachu. That could actually happen. Like, that is a possibility that could happen. Rick Perry says that it rolled over to the 80s hair metal. Oh, I think the 80s was just trying to be edgy. Individualism came back like bourgeoisie fads came back in the 80s. 80s was Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher. The bourgeoisie fashion and the bourgeoisie stuff came back into fashion in the 80s and 90s. Chauncey Fatsack says that glam rock invented skinny jeans. That is true. That is actually true. Rick Perry says, yee. Chauncey Fatsack says skinny jeans get you sex and get you sex-eyed in prison. What the fuck, dude? Rick Perry says that he wears women's jeans because they're the tightest. Anyways, yeah, 2025 just feels like 2013 to me. 2025 feels more like we're going back to 2013, or well, actually 2017. It just feels like it's 2017 again. That's all I can say. Chauncey says, Little Rick love the camel toe tight. Okay, dude, this is starting to just get sus. This is just getting fucking sus and deviant. Rick Perry says that he tucks good, yo. I'm sure you fap in it, too. Sure, it gets you a good fap off. Like, dude, what happened to dating? What happened to socializing and fucking dating, dude? Chauncey says that Rick has a moose knuckle, not a camel toe. Basically so. Nodge Jim says that we're going into 1984. Dude, the Zoomers are obsessed with the 80s. Why are Zoomers so obsessed with the 1980s? Like, what makes it so special? Rick Perry says, stop sexually harassing Chauncey. And Chauncey Fatsack says, LOL. It's the skinny jeans, LOL. Yeah, dude. You're gonna fap... Chauncey's fapping off to the skinny jeans, dude. It's not like he's fapping off to a trans woman fucking postmodern thing, but whatever, dude. Yeah, Rick Perry says the 80s was sweet AF, TBH. Well, dude, the Zoomers weren't alive in the 80s. They were only born in the O's. Like, why are they so obsessed with 80s? Everything that's 1980s, dude. Or 90s, it's cringe. Chauncey says, stop undressing me with your eyes. I'm not fingering the mic, dude. Is that like some kind of a new sexual, like, sex move or something? Fingering the mic? Yeah, that's a new one to me. Nod Jim says that you're fingering the mic again. And Interdimensional Lizard says you're covering the microphone again. Interdimensional Lizard says it's all good. Chauncey says that the 80s had the best movies. They did, before it... But the problem is that it's the 80s where all of the current franchises, Star Wars, Star Trek Next Generations, all the current franchises began in the 80s, and they went straight downhill. So the 80s is just when everything began to go to shit. The 80s, high point, everybody's going back to being bourgeoisie. And then you got all the current franchises having their start in the 80s. And now look at where we're at now, dude. Chauncey Fatsack says, the Terminator... Rick Perry says that he is an old-school androgyny like Bowie, Boy George, Annie Lennox, and Grace Jones. Well, that's just a product of MK Ultra and the Frankfurt School. So you're basically a cultural communist, Rick Perry. Chauncey Fatsack says 80s action movies. Rick Perry says that he is not a transhumanist. Chauncey Fatsack says, Soy Jorg. LOL. Yeah. Communism was not defeated, Nagjim. Fabian socialism triumphed, the Frankfurt Trotskyite school triumphed. You're living in a socialist society right now. Bourgeoisie capitulated. Bourgeoisie capitulated in the 1930s under FDR and the Second World War. Also, the concept of the 19th century petty bourgeoisie, that's gone. That was completely erased by the Wall Street crash of 1929. Okay, that was the beginning of the destruction of the Joachimite concept of the Second Age of Man. The Second Age of Man is being destroyed and wiped out by the cultural revolutions of the modern age. It's been going on since 1789. Rick Perry says that, androgynies have been around since year dot. No, dude. The androgyny stuff only happened when the modern city arose. Prior to the Industrial Revolution, there was no such thing as any of those concepts. Okay? You're living in a world that is full of isms that have been curated to you by the state. You're under a mindset of the state should control and appropriate everything. Everything should be managed by the state, and you have capitulated to the Orwellian state. Chauncey Fatsack says that Rick plays the crying game in chat every day. He does. He very much does. Nod Jim says that only Stalin can save us. Stalin was pure naturalism. Bolshevism was naturalism, as opposed to supernaturalism. It is organized, natural, modern government. And then Chauncey Fatsack says that 1940s Germany had no gun control. They were defeated. They were destroyed and crushed and beaten into the ground by the Soviets. Chauncey Fatsack. The Americans and the Russians defeated and crushed the fascists. And also, they did have gun control, because Jews could not own guns in Germany. The Jews did not have the right to own guns, so there was gun control. And also, there was gun control. Okay? There was gun control in Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany is another form of pure naturalism. It's not organized supernaturalism, it is organized Joachimite naturalism. And also, the Nazis themselves were leftists. Adolf Hitler was a leftist. It was National Socialism as opposed to International Socialism. That's what was actually going on. Chauncey Fatsack says, state-controlled chicanery. Well, the libertarian thing is not going to fix the technocratic modern problems. Rick Perry says, look up Feminillo. What? Chauncey says that Rick is a Hajira from India. He very well could be. He very well is. Rick Perry says that it's a universal phenomenon that transcends time and place. Dude, you're talking like you're taking DMT there. You're just sounding like you're taking DMT. Chauncey says, didn't India have troons for thousands of years? They did. They did, dude. But it was an extreme minority of an extreme minority. It was an extreme exception. Let's see here. Chauncey says, 'cause other religions. Najim says they're not human. Chauncey says that Rick has his yin in his yang. Yin and yang in Chinese philosophy doesn't necessarily equate to the Western notion of good and evil. It just means dark and light. And it's supposed to be an eternal balance unto each other in Taoism. Rick Perry says the transvestites. You're putting your head way too much into this, Rick Perry. You're putting way too much into this abstraction. You're putting way too much of your time and your mind into trying to brandish these modernist abstractions. Okay, you got your mind up your ass with Kantian and idealism. You got your mind up your ass with Immanuel Kant and Kantian idealism. Chauncey Fatsack says that street shitter Rick. Najim says transvestites rise up. No! No, dude. Chauncey says the balance in the force. That's not necessarily what Taoist philosophy means either. And then Rick Perry says the Bible accommodates the phenomena as halevs, de facto male and de jure female. Yeah, but you're not a Jew, Rick Perry. You're not Jewish, you're British. You're from Britain and you're Northern European. You're not Jewish and you don't come from that culture. How are you going to take a ancient Oriental mindset or concept and try to use that in a modern transhumanist industrial society? The concept of transvestitism is just transhumanism. It is a dilapidation and it is just a form of transhumanism. It does not go back to the ancient world. Chauncey says Jedi versus Gendai. Chauncey Fatsack says the Calamite Rick. Rick Perry says that he derriere is always meticulously clean. Yeah, I don't think I need to know that. Chauncey says that Rick Perry meets Rick Curry. Well, dude, he should probably go to India. He probably might find a bunch of Hindus that he can agree with on a common mindset. But India has not been brandished by corrupt Western nihilism like the West has. Western civilization is dead. It's done. It's done. Chauncey says 5 points for Dumbledore. Let's see here. Hufflepuff. Mute Hammer strikes again.